Can sitting still actually rewire your brain? According to scientists, it seems it can. In the early 2000s, scientists did something unexpected. Back in the time, it was very unusual to invite Buddhist monks to study their brains. And some of them, they spent more than 10,000 hours of meditation. Nowadays, we know about neuroplasticity and that the brain is changing and evolving. But this experiment, what it did, it helped to challenge the status quo that the brain doesn't change after we are adults. But luckily, it was not the only experiments the scientists did. Scientists continued to have different types of experiments with very interesting results. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Katka. I have been meditating for almost 5 years every day. What I didn't know back then is how profound impact has meditation on your brain. One of the benefits of meditation is increased gray matter. There is a Harvard study which took people who never meditated before and they put them in a meditation program for 8 weeks. What they did is that they measured their brain before they started the meditation retreat or program and after they finished. Well, what they found is that their brain was a bit different. The gray matter was increased. People by the end of this program, they had better focus, better memory, their brain functioned better for learning. And of course, if you want to keep this skill or that your brain works in such a way, you need to keep the meditation. So if people who meditated for 8 weeks in that program, they stopped, well, their brain would come back to the baseline. Second benefit of meditation is regarding longevity. There was a scientific experiment with the Buddhist monk Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, and this experiment with him lasted for over 14 years, and they were measuring his brain in a certain period of time. When he was 41, his brain looked much younger. According to scientists, when they look at his brain and the scans, it looked like that this brain belonged to someone who is like 4 years old, not 41. Of course, we cannot stop time, but this shows how profound impact the meditation has on brain. It can even slow down our aging. Do you know who has the title the happiest man in the world? Well, this title belongs to Matthew Ricard. He's a former French biologist and he became a Buddhist monk. Matthew spent thousands and thousands of hours of meditation. And when scientists scanned his brain, they were just blown away. His gamma waves, which are associated with learning, focus, compassion, were the highest ever recorded in a human. Also, he showed very high activity in the brain region, which is associated with the emotional regulation, with the positive thinking. So that's why he received this title, because it was never seen before in human. And he just showed us what's possible through meditation. Probably Matthew Ricard would not give himself such a title, because when he speaks about happiness, compassion, well-being, he speaks about it in a way that it is a skill, it is something which we can develop in ourselves. And meditation is the great tool for it. The last benefit of meditation, which I will mention in this video, is that it helps us to quiet this default mode network. And what I mean by this is that it helps us to quiet this negative way of thinking, this rumination over the past, future, worrying, what will happen, what might happen. And it is just all in our head. And we all are struggling, or at least I can speak for myself. Sometimes I'm struggling just thinking about the future, how it will be, how things will turn out, if it will be good. And we often find ourselves struggling or worrying about stuff which will never happen, and it's just in our head. And meditation just helps us to create the space or the awareness, like, okay, it is just my thought and I can just observe it and let it go. I have been meditating for almost 5 years, and during that time I tried different meditation, because there are so many to choose from. You can do meditation with visualization, you can make sound meditation, walking meditation, meditation which is focused on this or that. So there's so much to choose from, which I find sometimes overwhelming, like, okay, I want to meditate, but like where to start? And in my case, like the first meditation I tried was Vipassana. Then I switched to focusing just on my breath, just being aware of breathing, and the moment I noticed that my mind is wandering, I just came back to breathing. Then I was also doing some visualization meditation, but what actually works for me is the Vipassana meditation, which I initially started with. I think important thing is to not think too much about it and just start with one meditation. If it is easy for you to download application and you just follow the instructions from the application, or maybe you feel like, oh, I really just want to focus on my breath, I want to be more aware, I want to focus. So regardless which meditation you choose, just choose one, stick with it, be consistent about it. And even though it means 5 minutes every day, it's great beginning. This is also how I started, because I could not do more. It was so painful for me to sit still. It was like, I need to do something. I can't just sit here wasting my time. So whichever you choose, it will be okay. If you like the video, please subscribe, hit the like button. It will mean a lot to me. And see you hopefully at the next video, where I will share my personal experience with meditation.